Hey guys, I just wanted to let everybody know that I have recently been interviewed on the Kindness Rebellion podcast. I'll drop a really quick little clip here so you guys can see, catch the idea, the gist of what the conversation was about. It was a fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed it. Nathan Jones is the host of the Kindness Rebellion. Really cool guy. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'll leave a link to the full episode below. And do look at some of his other interviews. They are absolutely phenomenal. He interviews a sex worker and talks about the politics and concerns surrounding, the social mentality around that. I highly encourage you guys to check out the Kindness Rebellion. Absolutely amazing podcast. Yeah, just good shit all around. Seriously. So I'll leave a link to my interview. Please check that out. So without further ado, here's a small clip of our conversation.
And so I'm really curious as to, do you feel like I guess one big question that I had, kind of with this marriage of science and economics is sort of I listen to a lot of Russell Brand, and one of the things he often talks about is how economics and capitalism specifically just really choke holds science. But a lot of us believe that science can only flourish and exist because of capitalism. So I kind of wanted to hear your opinions on that and what you think a post-capitalist science would look like.
So there is a lot of bad science, like an incredible amount of bad science out there. And this is actually one of my arguments as well. First of all, when you have money, okay, so there's a couple of sides to this problem. One is not enough money. One is too much money and using that to manipulate the science, right? So, good science. Okay, for instance, COVID, right? For years before COVID was even a problem, there was a COVID outbreak 15, 20 years ago. I can't remember exactly, but some time ago.
It was
And it set something off, and everybody's like, okay, we got to study this virus. So all of a sudden, because of the outbreak, there was funding to do the study.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years went by and the funding fizzled out. That very fact that the funding fizzled out, even though the scientists kept saying, we need funding to keep studying this because this is going to be a problem in the future.
Yeah.
But what happened? It turned into a problem in the future.
And then they started funding it like crazy, right?
And it's going to fizzle out again, because that's what's economic. It's the same reason why, why school and education is so poorly funded, because there's no immediate return, or at least a return in the, in
a profitable sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that brings me back to that question I posed earlier, what would science look like in a post-capitalist society? Because it seems like as of right now, we're only funding research that is profitable. So we have awesome innovation in, weapons and financial technology and things like that, because it's extremely profitable. But we aren't looking at the best ways to, end homelessness. We're not looking at the best way to make housing affordable and accessible, because these topics aren't profitable. So I'm wondering what you think. What do you think science would end up looking like in a post-capitalist society?
So I think it would be a completely different story. You first of all, you don't have these incentives, right? That dictate the course of what science does.
Yeah. Second
of all, and I've actually wrote a lot about this and probably have a couple of videos up somewhere about it. It depends on how you get to your post-capitalist society.
That's a good point.
My perspective, but I am convinced that the only way to get rid of money is to you need two kind of interlocking ideas, right? You need to be able to motivate or ignite each individual's intrinsic motivation, which is where a lot of the psychology in my research comes from. Because money currently functions as a motivator. Like it's what keeps things moving.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't go to work, you don't get a paycheck. If you don't get a paycheck, you don't get food. Like
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. So I started my kind of search with what is motivation? How can you motivate without money? Like, is that possible?
Yeah.
And that's what led me into, doing all the research into the different types of motivation and all that stuff. So if you create a system that allows people to reach, fulfill their needs, right? Have all their needs fulfilled in a healthy way. And then give them the tools to structure their desires and their aspirations in a way that they can begin to, actually climb the ladder. As far as education, working with other people that they click with, working on things that they enjoy doing, then you just lit the fire, right? You just there it goes, dude. They are motivated. If you woke up every morning and got to do exactly what you wanted to do, that made you feel like you were part of the human race, right? I mean, you can't get more motivation than that.
No, not at all.
So, so if we used that to get to post-capitalism, science would be a totally different story.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the scientists would wake up wanting to get into that, wanting to do good research, because now it's not a matter of how much funding can you get. Now it's a matter of what crazy new, avenues can I navigate and get to this end goal that are helpful, that are clean, that don't cause any problems, that get things going that people will love, and apply that to the world. Right?
I think it's really important that you outlined this, though, because I think a lot of people who are kind of opposed to any sort of systemic change or even talking about it, especially in terms of money, because they do see money as like not only the ultimate motivator, but the only motivator. I like how you're saying that we need to change the way we're motivating people in order to move into a post-capitalist society, because it was kind of like when you were saying you want to make sure that all of their needs are met, and then they can start, getting education, nurturing competence. They can start having more accessible social relationships, nurturing relatedness. And then you're saying also do the things that they want to do, which is nurturing autonomy. And it's really cool to see that outlined, because I could genuinely see how that would easily foster cleaner, better science, as well as just making a more motivated populace in general.
Thank you for being a subscriber. If you're not, go ahead and subscribe. And if you think this is a pretty cool little, I guess, commercial for my interview, go ahead and like it. I will see you guys next time. Take care.